Hey everyone, it's James here on the Crypto Swiss channel. Lately, you might have seen the buzz across crypto media about Peter Brandt, the legendary chart analyst with nearly 50 years of experience under his belt. With over 780,000 followers on X, he's a big name in the space. But let's be real, he's got a serious case of XRP derangement syndrome. I've mentioned him in a few recent videos, so you might already know where I stand. Now, Brandt's latest hot take, he's predicting XRP could drop to around $1. Tired of fake gurus who claim to be expert traders but never trade live? I trade live on the second largest crypto exchange, where everything is transparent and results can't be faked. For over 440 days, I've consistently closed every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $34,000 in profits with only 4% drawdown. Verified results, not empty claims. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in my profile and start copying my trades for free today. Bold claim, right? But let's pause for a second. Why should we trust someone who's been wildly off the mark about XRP for the better part of a decade? Even if, by some fluke, his prediction came true, which I'm incredibly skeptical about, it wouldn't change the fact that he's consistently missed the big XRP moves. So, why take him seriously now? Here's the thing. While his dramatic dollar prediction has been making headlines, I've been digging into what credible analysts, those who actually called XRP's breakout this cycle, have to say. And guess what? Practically nobody who knows their stuff agrees with him. It feels like Brandt's pretty much standing alone on this one. So today, I'll break it all down for you and share insights from analysts who've been spot on about XRP's recent performance. It's looking more and more likely that we'll see double-digit price action for XRP this cycle before it's all said and done. But before we dive in, let me be upfront. I'm not a financial expert, and this isn't financial advice. Seriously, don't make any buy or sell decisions because of what I say. I'm just a crypto enthusiast who loves making videos about this wild, ever-changing space. It's a hobby, and it's all for fun. Now, let's talk XRP's potential worst-case scenario. First, let me pull up something many of you might have already seen. A few days ago, Peter Brandt took to X, formerly Twitter, to share his take on XRP. Here's what he said: "Don't shoot the messenger. Your favorite Beanie Baby / Pet Rock crypto displays a classic complex head and shoulders top. This could become bullish if $3 is exceeded. Otherwise, the implication is a decline to $1.07. If you have an issue with this, take it up with McGee and Edwards." So, Brandt's calling out a head and shoulders pattern, which leans bearish. Interestingly, another analyst has echoed similar sentiments, though it's not exactly a common view. Ali Martinez, a respected chart analyst, has weighed in, and while he doesn't suffer from what I'd call XRP derangement syndrome, he's being intellectually honest about what he sees, and that's fair. Let's dive deeper and explore these perspectives. If XRP can push past $3, it could break the current head and shoulders pattern, flipping the outlook bullish, according to analysts. But there's a warning. If it doesn't, the price could drop significantly. One analyst even points to $1.29 as a potential downside target. Now let's rewind to March 28th, when Charting Guy shared an intriguing XRP update. I mentioned this in a previous video, but it's worth revisiting. He analyzed a 2017 fractal and emphasized it's more about timing and direction than exact prices. His bearish case? On the low end, the fractal suggests a price around $8.70. For those who've been holding for years, $8.70 XRP might just be life-changing. I know many of you would agree, but here's the kicker. He just dropped a new thread, and it's all about this head and shoulders pattern. Crypto media has been buzzing about this for days, especially in XRP circles. Whether it plays out or not, it's the talk of the town, and it's fascinating to see how this story continues to dominate the space. Charting Guy, one of the analysts who nailed XRP's recent breakout to the upside, has shared some intriguing insights. Here's what he had to say about XRP's worst-case scenario. Some are buzzing about a potential head and shoulders pattern that could target $1.15. Charting Guy isn't fully convinced this will happen, but he says it's worth keeping in mind. If it does play out, it would just be a golden pocket backtest, keeping the chart bullish overall, with higher highs and higher lows. For now, XRP pullbacks seem to land in the $1.70 to $1.90 range, with daily candles consistently closing above $2. That zone will be a key area to watch closely. This week, Charting Guy believes many altcoins could dip to fill the 311 WIC lows, signaling the end of the correction. For XRP, that would mean a drop to $1.90. He also pointed out additional supports to consider. Looking at the charts, he noted the baseline and weekly Ichimoku level at $1.94. And no, Ichimoku isn't a Pokemon. The weekly super trend sits at $1.73, while the weekly EMA ribbon ranges from $1.46 to $1.93. In his view, these levels define the bottom for XRP. Even if prices dip lower briefly, he emphasizes it's likely to be short-lived. The bullish momentum remains intact, setting the stage for XRP to blast to the upside once again. He doesn't believe we're heading that low, and honestly, neither do most analysts. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a single one I follow who sees it as the most likely outcome. Sure, a couple might entertain the idea that it's technically possible, but none of them consider it probable. Not one. Now, of course, you've got your Peter Brandt types chiming in, but let's be real, when it comes to XRP, the man is a walking case of XRP derangement syndrome. I'm not taking his opinion seriously here. Why would I? His XRP charts are a disaster. When he charts Bitcoin, sure, I'll give him credit. His accuracy is impressive. But if his Bitcoin hit rate mirrored his XRP predictions, no one would be listening to him, because he'd be wrong about 100% of the time. That's how off base he is with XRP. And then there's this. Someone in the XRP community, X+1, reached out to Charting Guy, pointing out that there are two right shoulders, not just one. They confidently declared, "We're not going below $2." Charting Guy agreed, responding that it's an irregular and ugly head and shoulders pattern, which is why he doesn't see it playing out. In his opinion, even if we dip below $2, it'll be short-lived, if it even happens at all. Here's an interesting take from chart analyst Jesse. While I don't have the original post pulled up, it sparked a reaction from Charting Guy, who simply commented, "Nice. Seems like he's on board with Jesse's perspective." So what did Jesse say? Looking at the XRP/USD charts, Jesse points out that many analysts are predicting a crash for XRP due to a bearish head and shoulders pattern, but Jesse isn't buying it. He argues this isn't a bearish signal at all. Instead, it's an elusive reaccumulation pattern, much like the setup that led to XRP's massive parabolic run back in 2017. He also notes the right shoulder has stretched too long to be valid anymore. If history repeats itself, Jesse predicts XRP could hit $18. Not bad, right? Now, I'm not cherry picking here. I'm always happy to share posts from people who think XRP might crash, especially when they're being intellectually honest and not caught up in what I like to call XRP derangement syndrome. Those posts are rare, I'll admit, but they're out there. That said, most analysts leaning toward a bullish outlook might just have the right idea. Cyber Samurai recently posed a question to chart analyst Bobby A. "Sir, I have just one question. Short term, can we break $1? It's a hot topic making rounds in the crypto world." Bobby A's response: "I do not believe XRP will trade below $1, a firm stance, adding him to the no camp." Then came the follow-up: "What about hitting $1.50? Bobby A replied, "Anything is possible in crypto. I don't believe so, but if it happens, I'll back the truck up." His message? Pain leads up, not down, at least in his book. Meanwhile, Crypto Insight UK was asked about a head and shoulders pattern suggesting $1.07 when prices dip below $1.90. Their take? "Not my base case, brother." Let's see. The consensus among analysts? Such scenarios are highly unlikely. Finally, the great Matsby shared his weekend analysis and some bold conclusions. Bitcoin likely bottomed at $76,600. Ethereum's floor seems to be $1,300. And XRP probably marked its low at $1.76 back in February. Alongside, he dropped predictions for other coins. The crypto world stays buzzing, but one thing's clear. Everyone's got their own theory, and the market keeps us guessing. I was eager to get straight to the XRP news, but here's the scoop. What we saw at $1.76 back in February might have been the peak. Still, the analysts who nailed XRP's breakout to the upside believe there's more to come. That's right, my friends. They're calling for double-digit gains. Oh yes, the best days are still ahead. This is not the time to panic or lose faith. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't make any trades based solely on what I share. That would be a very, very bad idea. Until next time, stay sharp, crypto fans.